All right, day two of the 72 Barracuda. This is the only real rust damage I can find on the car. Everything else has been fixed. I've already blasted and folded over to make sure I can blast inside between the layers. So I'm going to cut a piece out. It's got a nice body line here. I'm going to bead roll this front curve in the 90 so I can fit it. And when I have the outer on, then I'm going to flip it upside down, and there's some inner to repair. Once I get it back on the car, I'll do final fit on my front edge. But for now, I'm going to go get a little zip cut. I'm going to take a chunk out here, and then I'll cut out an appropriate piece out of here and start making my patch. I have our Jet mini zips. Freaking love these. These are great, especially for doing the small diameter corners. Gonna burn this one up first. So this has been patched before. I'm gonna go past it right about here. Okay, let's see if we can get that apart. Someone jabbed this rust hole full of fiberglass, and I believe that's all that's holding this on the car. Woohoo! Yeah. So this metal's all perfect. So that's an old repair. If they just had gone bigger, hard to know what they were thinking. Some guy was doing this at home on his own. It's their experience. What the hell? Doesn't matter. Hopefully somebody didn't pay for that repair. But when you're at home working with what you got, you do what you have to. So I'm going to roughly lay this out. And then I'm going to mark this line. It's a bit of a curve. I'm going to bead roll and hammer a lip and a lip, slide it on, and then I'll do the final fit. But now I got to take this back out. I want to blast in here lightly. So first let's cut this out. Okay, enough for a bottom lip. What are we doing here? When you use the bead roller, you have to leave enough leftover material. You'll see what I mean when I bead roll it. Okay. All right. Wow. Okay, I'm going to mark the back side. Okay. Changed my mind on a couple things. I'm going to go bead roll this first. Then I'll come back, fit it on this edge, and then I'll remark that. Really trying to blame that gauge on me.
Yeah, it is. 250-319-0069.
Okay.
We don't need the front.
Just need to start it. And then I can trim off the excess, and then I'll use a hammer and dolly. That way I have a curved bead, and the shorter this return is, which is the over, the easier it is to hammer over without deforming everything. So I'm going to do that right now. And then you cut out this corner. You imagine if you folded this over and that over, they would overlap. So you just take that off at a 45. You see what I mean when I hammer it over. I'll go do that right now. Try one more. Okay, I'll finish that with a hammer and dolly. Then I'll lay it on the vehicle, mark this again, go to the t-shirt rack. As you can see, it used to be a sheet metal brake, it's now a t-shirt rack, and do the bottom brake. So we'll go back and show this to you. Now, I just want to show you what I'm doing. What I am going to do is go stick this in the vise, and then I'm going to work that back and forth and hammer it square. So we have this sitting roughly where it goes, and there is a body line right along here. And all that matters for right now, they got to take the shrinker. I'm going to do some shrinks right here. Then I may have to put that over a block of wood, piece of iron. Man, I could stick it in the brake. You know, it's a bit of a, it's got an edge to it, so I think I'll cut a V out and then I'll put it in the brake and I'll get that sharp edge. Yeah, a better idea. You can see the brake I did, right? Simple, nothing complicated. You can do that in a lot of different methods. So my next step is I'm going to brake the bottom. So I'm going to mark that right now. So it's a line up here. Once that's done, I can trim that. I can trim this a bunch more. I can work at my final fit, and then I got to go out and I got to blast this. Got the brake. Trim off the other one. Starting to look like something. So, got a decent crown here. Okay. That is now close enough to be in a happy little patch. I gotta quit saying that. That I'm going to hammer this square nicely, and then I'm going to trace around this panel because that's way quicker. And I should be blasting, but I'm really interested in getting this done. So I shall go hammer this square. So hammered it, sharper, even put it in the shrinker, put a bit of a curve in there, a bit of a curve here. Yeah. Look at that, it just kind of falls in. I hate that stuff, I gotta rip it off. Anyhow, I'll shut it off. I'm gonna take it outside and blast this. I'll bring it back in and show it to you so you can see how big the holes are after I blast it. And then I'm gonna tack the outer on. I'm gonna try to get a spoon in here and take out this crease. Doors looks pretty good, but I'll do what I can with it off. All right, it's blasted. It's actually pretty good. See that? There are some holes. but it's not bad. And I know we're 100% over here. I definitely went far enough. 100% up here. So here's the issue. It's not that big of a deal, but I want this gap to the rocker to be bang on in here. Now, if I cut this off, you're never entirely perfect. Well, you are eventually. So, this is where I'm going to sit. I look down this way, line it up. I look up this way. I think I'm right. So, it'd be way easier to replace this right now. Maybe I will. You see, when you cut metal, the edges get deformed. So I got to turn it upside down on the anvil and hammer this on the back side so that maintains a nice crown. Because right now, it's a little deformed from the metal shears. Not a big deal. Something you got to pay attention to. So now I got to decide what to do. I elected to go with making a new inner, a little curved on a shrinker stretcher. And I'm going to do this lip first. I have to trim it to fit. A little bit of around, not too bad. Gonna go shrink here so it curves more. Got 10. There it is. I should have the shrinker stretcher sitting right beside me. Get the shop. What am I doing? That's better. Right here. And here, I'll go to the anvil now. Tap it smooth on the edges. This is going to move forward the thickness of this because I'm going to cut that vertical lip out. So I have to shorten this so that I don't end up being too long. Little things like that. I mean, I can do it with the grinder and guess. And then once it's on the car, I can weld to the edge or grind it back. And I may still have to. It's one of the things you run into. So it's not much. And of course now I'm going to have to hammer the edge flat again. Gonna have to grind a bit of this, but I'm good here. I'm good here. So I guess I'll mark. Okay, I'm going to replace this afterwards. But for now, yeah, just going to weld it in place. Okay, I want to, this is loose. You can see the bottom here moves because I pulled the skin away to sandblast underneath it where it was bad. So I'm going to lift it up, put it back where it belongs to help hold it crowned. There we go. And I'm using a spoon here to hammer this crease out. So I'm picking up the low spot here, and you can hear it. because I'm trying to stretch the metal a bit. So I hit hammer on dolly. And hitting like this, hammer off dolly. This is coming up nice. And this is where it's important to have good lighting. You shouldn't have that in the way, because I'm looking at the light shining across and I can see where the end of my dolly is, my spoon. You can see it a lot better. You see where it's sticking through. So light is very important for some of this. That's in my panel. This is too flat here. And this is curved a bit. So I'm going to go on the dolly, on the anvil, and hit it here, which will stretch it through here, and that curves it where you stretch it. Okay, you can see all my hammer marks on the back side to crown it. Okay, that fits much better. Yeah. Okay. And I'm going to have to pull this up with a tiny little screwdriver. Well, I'll try to get that sorted out now. Okay. Okay, with this all tacked in place now, I think I'll hammer this edge over. I'm going to hammer the front edge over at least. I'll leave the bottom, because I think I was going to replace a bit more of the bottom edge. I can't remember right now. So I'll hammer this over. Okay, happy with that. I can add a bit of bead to the corner. I'm thinking I might be in too far. Not sure. Now I'm going to just pick my way around, and I'll keep tapping it if it starts to pull, and I can weld this up. Then I'll flip it over and do the inner. Pretty straight ahead. All right, I did some grinding, I got a bit of welding to finish off. It's fair to middling. I'm going to have to do some more hammering. I got rid of that crease. A little bit dived here in the crease. And I'm going to have to put the spoon in behind it. I think it'll be easier for it to stay out now. I was on the corner where you get the most concentration of heat. But I can definitely hammer that out. I might push it up. Like when I get that pulled out and I tap along this line, that'll help hold it in the crown. But for now, I'm going to flip it upside down and finish the corner. Okay. It is all looking pretty good here. That's my new lip. I'm going to replace this area in here now, up to that lip. And I think I can hammer this over now. Now if you have a smooth dolly and you hold it right, there'll be virtually no stress or damage to the outer skin. So you can do a whole door skin, hammer it on, no filler work, just prime it. So I'm going to spot weld this, and then I'll cut that out to make sure nothing moves. Except my helmet moved. Why does it always move? Oh, there it is. Cool. All right. So that's what the plug welds look like. Now I'm going to cut this out, make a new piece. Okay. Well, this piece will be simpler. I was about to say easy, but that's like saying the goalie has a shutout going. Nope. So I'm jamming it in there so I can make a mark. I'm telling you, dummy ropes for felt pans, $1 million idea. You can cut it a little finer. Beauty. So, as that cools, the outside cools, the heat's going into the thread. I have a feeling that was put in cross-threaded. And if it's red hot and you try to turn it, it just twists off, right? So I gotta let it cool enough that it doesn't just twist off. The last one, I took another 1/4 inch of threads with it. Here's open. Nope. That's not coming out. Now, as you can see, the weld is good. It just took off more thread because that sucker is in there for good. So now I got to drill that out. It's bigger sizes until I can retap it. This is the kind of stuff that adds an hour. And I got to grind some of this ugliness here. I see I have a couple spots that didn't weld. I'll grind it first, and then I'll finish my weld. Alright, you gotta put it on, and I'll learn how much I might have to add, running the bead down the end. I gotta clean this up a little more with grinding. Okay, I've got that cleaned up. It's pretty simple. That's the reinforcement for the corner around the hinge support. common area, 2-3 layers of metal in some spots. Junk gets in there, swells up, rusts. So it's a real simple flat piece. I'm just going to cut out a piece of heavier steel, 16 gauge, fit it in there, some plug welds, galvanized in behind it, my weld-through primer, sorry. And then I'm going to flip it over and make sure I'm real happy with all this. I can probably actually hang it back on the car, and then I'm going to have to knock out that one little low spot I had from welding. So it's been a good day. Okay, I just want to share the pain on this one. That bolt I couldn't get out. Now I'm going to have to drill and tap it. I've got all this welded up, ground. I want to put the car door back on. We're going to drill this out and tap it. Now the hard part, I'm going very small. I want to get in the center. Then I'll go bigger until I'm almost out to the full size of the bolt. And then, hopefully, I can either use an easy out or a tap. I'm using a sharp bit. I might use water. I don't want to spray cat's ass on the sandblasted metal that we're about to prime tomorrow. So I'm trying to keep the drill cool. These are jet bits. They seem to cut particularly well. Yeah, there's not much left of that bolt. There we have it. Okay, I got all the way through on that one. I'll go a little bit bigger. I like this little setup here. Better than the metal indexes we always had. I'm not as prone to falling over, and you can instantly tell if you're missing one without opening up all the different drawers. Okay, try the next side. Okay, that's pretty good. Now, I'm not sure. I mean, I could take the plate out. That's a real pain. Put it in the vise. I'm gonna really decide here. I'm gonna try seeing if I can turn it now with a tiny punch and a hammer. I think I'm gonna have to straighten out the tabs on the back so I can pull that plate right out of there. It's a bit difficult to get it apart, or sorry, to drill and tap it in this particular position, but they don't make it that easy, which is kind of good if you think about it. Once these are in place, they stay there. See if I can just knock it in now. Yes. Okay. That's it. That little plate, and it has the threads. So I'll clean them up. That's what I drilled through. But I didn't do a great job of getting on center. But now I can put this in the vise and I can knock out what's left of it. We'll see how that goes. I got it. Now I just got to run a tap through it. Okay. Tap. See if I can save it. Back and forth. I'm just going to grab some cat's ass to make this easier. Cat's ass. Tune up your carburetor. Fix your threads, save your marriage, does it all. So the tabs stick up through here and then they're bent over. So now we got to stick this back over the tabs, bend it back over, and that way you can still move around to adjust your door. Yep, got lucky. It's all good. 3,286 times in a row. Now we can put the door on. All right, ready to install the door. Let's see how it works. Wow. Pretty nice. It's pretty nice. Yeah, it's excellent. So, I can put the front fenders on. I'm not going to right now. I want to finish welding up the rockers. What's going on with the rockers is the seam in the factory indents where the quarter panel joins up to the rocker. And it dips way in here and the factory puts lead in here. Well, that's kind of a freaking mess. So, I think I'm going to cut that out. And I'm going to put a flat piece from here to here to get over that big divot, because I don't freaking like it. And that'll make it nice. I might have to move the bottom of this door out of here more, looking at that. Yeah, I think so.